YouTube, my name's Drew and you're watching Drawing with Drew. Before we get started on the comparison between the two UGEE drawing monitors, I'd encourage you guys to click that subscribe link down below so you can stay up to date on all of my new videos. In today's video, we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison with my UGEE 2150 drawing monitor and my UGEE 1910B drawing monitor. On my left-hand side here, I have the UGEE 2150. It's a 21.5-inch drawing monitor, and I have it hooked up to my MacBook in the back there through an HDMI cord, and then also using an external adapter so that it will connect to my Thunderbolt port in the back. And to my right here, I have the 1910B. It is, again, a 19-inch monitor, and I've got it hooked up to a really old computer that I used to use in university that cannot run drawing programs right now, but will still be okay because we can take a look at the screen quality and the brightness and all that in this review. If you're anything like me, you're interested in drawing, and you're interested in drawing specifically in digital artwork, and you're thinking about maybe purchasing some sort of a drawing monitor, but you're not sure if you want to invest tons of money into like a Cintiq, especially now that there are so many new products to market that seem to do the same thing. Let's take a closer look at the UGEE 2150. It's got a 21.5-inch screen display. The display, in my opinion, is excellent. It is very vivid, very true in color. When comparing with my MacBook, I notice almost no difference, which is great when you're drawing because you don't have to worry about color accuracy. It's great in my opinion. It has full 1080p, as I mentioned. It has an IPS display, so it doesn't really seem to bother my eyes while I'm drawing on it for a period of, say, 2 hours. I don't find my eyes getting too dry or burning or anything in that way. It has 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity, as is common with many of the higher-end drawing monitors today. You can control, line thickness, pressure sensitivity, all of those things. It comes with a screen protector, which if you want a little bit of a resistance while drawing on the screen, you can use. I tried it, but I found there were bubbles in it, and it was hard to get it perfectly straight. It also made a squeaking sound when I drew, and I'm already used to drawing on glass, so it does no big deal for me. I just took it off. It also comes with a drawing glove, which is very helpful when you're drawing. You want to make sure that your hand can glide, it doesn't get stuck on things, and it doesn't get sweaty against the screen. On the other hand here, I've got the 1910B, which is UGEE's introductory model of the larger drawing monitors. In my opinion, it is still a very, very good machine. If you're interested in just kind of dabbling in the digital art world, you want to start drawing and you want to do it in sort of a cheap way. You don't want to invest a whole bunch of money into a higher end one. You might want to try this one first. In my opinion, this is a great option. You've got 19 inches, a 19-inch screen. It has still quite good color, quite vibrant, although I do notice that while I'm drawing, the color does not match the color that I'm seeing on my MacBook when I'm drawing in Manga Studio, at least. So I do have to kind of color correct afterwards, or just be mindful of it as I'm coloring something. I'll have to look at the color on my MacBook opposed to the color that I'm seeing on the screen, just so that it is a true color. It's not true HD, it's 1440 by 900, which in my opinion is fine. I don't notice any issues that way. Still HD, not true HD, but still more than enough, I think, for the average user. You can pick this one up for about $410 US, opposed to the UGEE 2150, which is about $200 US more. And let's just take a little bit of a closer look to see if it's actually worth it. So as you can see here, the 1910B has a nice screen, it's bright, but it's just not quite as crisp as the 2150, or the bigger brother as I call it. The buttons on the bottom here are substantial. They're glossy and smooth, but when you press the button here, it's almost a little bit of a generic feel to it, and they're right on the front, so they're a little flashy. Again, it's just more of a cosmetic type of aesthetic deal, I guess, so really it doesn't bother me at all, whereas the 2150 just looks a little bit crisper. It's got more of a matte finish to it. The labels are actually printed on the front here, and then all of the buttons are underneath, which also feel like they're high quality. Let's take a look at the thickness comparison. Here we are taking a look at the side profile of the UGEE 1910B. As you can see, it is a little thick, but pretty much standard in terms of any monitor size, and this can actually be used as your monitor for your computer. If you do not have a laptop and you just want to use this as your main monitor, you can do that as well. The thickness is fine in my opinion, and the build quality is quite high. The adjustable bracket on the back here is identical to the 2150. You just pull up on that little top lever there and you can adjust the angle to the way that you like it. Comparatively, here we are now looking at the UGEE 2150. As you can see, it is a lot sleeker, a lot thinner, and just kind of has a much newer look to it. Again, the bracket is the same, so you're not getting anything new there. It still feels extremely substantial, even though it's a little bit thinner. And I guess probably the main reason why it is thinner is because the screen is larger, so you have more area to kind of pack the components in there underneath. Here I flipped the UGEE 2150 upside down so you can take a look at the different ports at the back. On the right hand side here, we have a standard USB connector which goes into your computer as well. It's standard on both of them, and this allows the pen to communicate with your computer. You've got the power bar slot there for, well, power. In this case, I'm using the HDMI cable, which is a nice upgrade from the 1910B. You also have the DVI port here, so if you want to export, I guess, a lower resolution monitor quality, you can also use that. Or you've got even the lower model, which is the VGA. So if you have a much older computer, you can use it pretty much with any computer. It just depends on your computer's ability to handle the software. We're now looking at the underside of the UGEE 1910B, and it's again very similar, although simplified from its bigger brother. You've got the USB port here, which you have to use in order for the pen to communicate with your computer. You've got the power adapter link there. I've got it attached to a VGA cable because I'm using my super old computer with this one currently as its main monitor, And then it's got the DVI port here, which if you purchase this, you will need to purchase the cord separately. It comes with the VGA, but if most modern computers nowadays have the DVI or just HDMI, so you'll need to upgrade. If you're using a Macintosh like I am, you are also going to need something. It's an adapter, and I'll show you it right here. This adapter cost me about $5 on eBay. It has different ports on it. In this case, you could plug in your DVI cord here, and then it will plug into your Thunderbolt port over here. And in this case, since I'm using it for my 2150, the UGEE 2150, I have it attached with the HDMI cord. Both units come with pens. The 1910B comes with an unbranded pen, whereas the 2150 comes with a pen that has the UGEE logo on the bottom. They are both identical otherwise, and you can use them interchangeably, so I often just pick up whichever pen is closer, which is a nice thing. And they also come with a whole bunch of different accessories, such as a little pen holder with also a whole bunch of different nibs underneath here, just in case this one wears out. I've been using my drawing monitors now for about, well, the UGEE 1910B for about a year, and I'm still on the very first nib. I don't really notice much wear to it, so I don't see that being a huge issue. The biggest downfall I noticed with the UGEE 2150, and this is still very minor, is that because the screen is so huge, I can draw perfectly fine in the middle, and I don't notice that there's much of that parallax, or whatever they call it, where the pen doesn't quite meet up with what you're drawing. I don't notice that because I'm drawing at such an angle that it looks perfect to me. The only issue is that when I'm trying to reach to the side of the screen and tap on something, because I'm situated right in the middle, my pen, even though it looks like I'm tapping it from the angle that I am, like maybe I want to click on the lasso tool, I try to tap it, but actually where my pen is lined up is different. So I have to actually physically move till I can find the cursor and click that button. So aside from that, both monitors are a great purchase. If you're thinking about one or the other, I can't fault either one of them for being a bad piece of technology. They're both really, really good. If you have the money and you are thinking about doing this a little bit more, long term, you might want to splurge for the 2150. It does have the better screen, the higher quality, I would say, in terms of color, and much more vivid. It doesn't seem to hurt your eyes as much. The 1910B is quite good though as an introductory drawing monitor, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with either one. If you have any more questions about either one of these monitors, I'd be happy to answer them. You can put your comment below, and I will do my best to answer every single question I get. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys following me, and any thumbs up would be awesome. And I'll see you in the next video.